Yo, it's good, y'all boys. Famous Mellow Ho. This bitch feel me. So, yes, sir. It's the end of the fucking year. Officially with the moon being transited in Scorpio and shit like that. We, you know what I'm saying, gonna go over the recap of the full moon and 29 degrees where the sun is conjuncting Neptune. What else? As well, yes, so just had a recap on that full moon with being fulfilled from Virgo season when we had planted the new seeds, you know, with our creativity and dreams, imaginations being the you see what I'm saying, catapult for the work health routine patterns to be put into, you know what I'm saying, a new routine health pattern, work regimen or health routine pattern. What we was basically doing in this season is coming to that full accumulation of getting fulfilled by that, you see what I'm saying, leading up from the seeds that we planted up till now. So however, you know what I'm saying, you sowed them seeds in your work health routine patterns that you know what I'm saying, going through new creating new spaces to open up new doors and experiences within that to imagine, you know, experience your dream, faith, belief, imagination. See what I'm saying? Is what we're being fulfilled with, and things of that nature. This full moon. Recapping that. So dealing with what we having the power of influence to be, you see what I'm saying, with the moon being in Scorpio, us reacting and responding to our deep desires, passions, and fixated emotions from that Sagittarius aspect and shit like that. We having a power of influence with the sun and Neptune conjunct 29 degrees, giving us that, you know what I'm saying, fire Leo aspect added on to the dream, faith, belief, imagination, and delusion, and giving it like a fixated transformative type energy and shit when it comes to that 29 degree conjunct Neptune, you feel me, with taking actions in the sun. It'll be like, you know, you fixating your passions, your deep desires and shit like that in a dreamy like way. So with us having to, you know what I'm saying, come to the end of the year, with this being the end of the year, see what I'm saying, last transit, this, you know what I'm saying, moon transit is basically bringing us to the end of the year. In that Sagittarius like aspect, what we react and responding to is gonna be how we can, you know what I'm saying, be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to our you know what I'm saying, in spiritual enlightenment, envisioning a point that we can, you know what I'm saying, hit, or you see what I'm saying, bullseye that we could reach with our spiritual senses and spiritual eyes and shit like that, of our experiences and knowledges and wisdom and shit like that, which can connect to our deep desires, passions, and motivations to see how we could transform that to, you know what I'm saying, for fifth house, for us to, you know, express that character of with the sun being fifth house from Scorpio in Pisces. It's gonna be us, like, you know what I'm saying, having to express that character of the wisdom, knowledge, and experience of us having to transform, transmute, you know what I'm saying, everything from the ending of this year, which was really you know what I'm saying, I guess you could say year 8, but from 2024, now it's really, it's already 2025, but now it's officially, you know what I'm saying, everything coming to an end and shit, as far as everything we accumulated from March to this point and shit. So we gonna do that whole shit all over again, baby. So what I can say about there you go. I can say about us recapping this full moon too, before we you know what I'm saying, finish that. Before I finish speaking on that, it's pretty much like a Virgo Leo. I mean, I said a Virgo Leo, Virgo Pisces type. You know, with Virgo being South Node, Pisces being North Node year, especially with the eclipse just happening and shit like that of that nature later on, and basically the start of the next year, which is pretty much tomorrow, since today is Wednesday. It's gonna be excuse me. My bad, yep, grandma. Pretty much transformed with the semi-sextile new moons when it comes to the Virgo new moon later on in September of this new year. So which is why I attribute it to, you know what I'm saying, plus the North Node is in Pisces and the South Node is in Virgo. So I attribute that it's pretty much a Virgo South, you know, Virgo themed, Pisces themed year, dealing with the work health routine patterns, having to shift us, you know, into a whole new having, you know, helping us shift us into this whole new generation, which Aries, you know what I'm saying, is gonna really kickstart that. So this new year that we coming into, I would say I'm pretty much feeling that it's, you know, still a ending of, you know, this kind of generational cycle that we've been coming to and shit, with the North Node slipping right in its happy-go-lucky ass into Pisces, and South Node and Virgo and shit. We gonna have to be putting in work, which, you know, right now Cancer and Mars and it being falling and shit like that. Scorpio and the moon, it being debilitated and things of that nature. It don't make it no better, but hey, this is why we here, you know what I'm saying, to experience the emotion and shit like that. In Pisces season, we had to, you know, work that faith, belief, and imagination, it not just, you know, make it a delusion too much to where we couldn't just enjoy the experience of us having, you know, having the fantasy in general, having the fun of the, you know what I'm saying, you know, undoing and all the subconscious work and development that we've been through throughout the year and shit like that. So like with this aspect, I guess, you know what I'm saying, it's a good close. I feel like I should say this Leo 5th house from Scorpio, Pisces, Scorpio 8th house, 9th house from Pisces, Sagittarius aspect, dealing with us having to express the character of us, gain what we, with the wisdom, knowledge, and experience we gain, you know, having to transform that deep emotion whilst reacting and responding to create an emotional connection with our deep, you know, transformation, sex energy and shit of that nature. Having to transform how we, you know, bind and merge our energies with the outside influences that we invest our investments in. You see what I'm saying? Joint accounts and shit like that with. Get some clarity around them, you know, delusions and shit when it comes to how we express our character and how we hit that point in that bullseye of the wisdom, knowledge, and experience gained behind that deep desire, showing it in a dream-like way, you feel me? And with the 29 degree here, like I said, being, you know, Neptune conjunct, so it's like a, you know, kind of with the sun, you know, Pisces being the sun there, shit. It's like, we taking actions, we expressing our character. The Leo aspect of us having to be on center stage with that dream, faith, belief, shit like that. Deep transformation, transformative soul, journey, energy. So yeah, and like I said, with the power of influence here, pretty much just be Pisces and Aries, since, you know what I'm saying, that's the only conjunctions. Sun, our actions, we'll be taking actions, viewpoints. Saturn, what we building on, creating structure around. Neptune, our faith, belief, imaginations, delusions. And North Node, what we going on this, destiny and spiritual path around these dreams, faith, beliefs, imagination, delusions. Is pretty much what we gonna have the power to influence, as well as be influenced by it, with this cuspy area coming into right now, since it's the end of the year. It'd be very, creative and shit like that, or whatever the case may be, or delusional, with the mixed with the creative, which, mix it up type shit. You do what you want to do, but you gonna see like a lot of, probably, fiery, passionate stubbornness, when it comes to the personal interest, values, and creative, passions and delusions of individuals and things of that nature. So it'll be like us coming into this, is like a foreshadowing of this energy is coming up of us, was what we're gonna come into in the next new year, coming up years and shit of that nature. So specifically, like this new year, this next year is Aries season. Won't have too much specific Aries placements, but I will say for shit show, this is a foreshadowing of the year after, this new year. Yeah. So basically next year, not this new year, type shit. So, yeah, and then with that Aries energy, power of influence right now, us, you know what I'm saying, thinking, communicating, analyzing our individual passions, interests, value and shit when it comes to what we spark in a lead and shit, and initiating and create as far as a personal interest or value and shit like that. Thinking, communicating, analyzing, also healing and transforming that pain and suffering to a growth, more like a growth in love, value, and appreciation aspect of being able to balance that relatability between your individual, you see what I'm saying, interests, and where you may have had a mistake like that, like in an individual value or some shit like that, you feel me, and related with others. So to be able to have that love, value, and appreciation be, you see what I'm saying, not just debilitated and shit like that, but more like a in a place of balance when it comes to the individual aspect of it. So everybody playing a part, but not just having to overextend themselves and things of that nature. So yeah, pretty much, what I was gonna say, and yeah, that's pretty much the power of influence we pretty much going through. So vibrational transformation right now, pretty much gonna be like, Aries, semi-sextile, Taurus, and Uranus, you know what I'm saying? Where we healing, transforming, think, communicating, analyzing, giving, relating, having healthy, good relatability when it comes to that love, value, and appreciation aspect, dealing with us having to, you see what I'm saying, transform that to our, what we, from our spiritual transformation to what we are having a vibrational transformation is pretty much gonna be like what we is individualizing, innovating, and making unique and creative as far as what our gifts, talents, values would be, and how we can make that relatable. You know what I'm saying? Um, and how we can make that relatable to others' values, gifts, and talents and shit like that, and how, what they're making individual and unique and innovating and shit like that, as far as what's, you know, maybe public or amongst amongst associates, shit of that nature amongst the group. And Taurus, semi-sextile Gemini, and Jupiter, so Jupiter and Gemini, pretty much having a spiritual transformation from that gift, value, and talent, and what we making relatable from that to be able to express, you see what I'm saying, or experience a wisdom, knowledge, and you know what I'm saying, experience the wisdom, or you know what I'm saying, go through an experience to gain wisdom, you know what I'm saying, through, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge and shit like that you have, you know, created your faith, belief, and imagination and dream and shit like that around and shit like that, to be able to communicate in your immediate environment to how you basically, you know what I'm saying, or being able to sense that in your five senses, what you could touch, taste, smell, and hear, and see how you be able to have a gift and a value out of that, be able to make it into a value or a talent to be able to communicate in your immediate environment, have a different, you know, wisdom, knowledge, or dream that you can make, that you can you know what I'm saying, out of that wisdom and knowledge, out of your immediate environment, how you communicate that and shit with your thoughts, expanding that through basically, you know what I'm saying, your gift, values, and talents, and shit like that. So will be the vibration of transformation from what your individual, uniquely innovating, you see what I'm saying, and having a spiritual transformation from. So from going on from Gemini to Cancer, being that semi-sextile, and Mars, us having a spiritual transformation from there to be able to bring depth to that, or not really just, you know what I'm saying, transform, bring depth to that spirit, that travel, and you know what I'm saying, go ahead and transform that vibration from what we had a spiritual travel in, and a spiritual transformation, and from that those thoughts and shit, that what you was able to communicate from your wisdom, knowledge, and experiences from that dream, that you could, you know, be able to show, and imagination that you be able to emanate and shit like that. From Cancer to transform that vibration with your home, family, and privacy, and your passions, motivations, in that having a gift, value, and talent, whatever it may be, to, you know, transform that vibration of that, to be shown in that way, of the vibration for your home, family, and privacy and shit like that nature, and for your ability to have a passion, motivation, or, you know, drive to, you see what I'm saying, transform that area of life and create in that area of life. So from there, pretty much, we got vibrational transformation, South Node, Virgo, what you are feeling safe, secure, and still stable around in your work health routine patterns. See what I'm saying? Your work patterns, health regimens, shit like that, would be pretty much, you see what I'm saying, the vibration of transformation, or the spiritual transformation for the vibration of what we transforming to be able to relate that amongst, you know what I'm saying, your relationships and your ways that you relatable and shit like that, to how you are balancing your gift values and talents to be able to do that. It's pretty much the vibration of how we transform in that spiritual travel, bringing depth to that work health routine pattern and shit like that of that nature. From there, pretty much and with desires and your deep desires first, emotions and shit within those relationships. That's pretty much the vibration and transformations from there. Spiritual transformation from how you're relatable in amongst your relationships and how you are, the ways that you relate and shit like that. In the ways that you have a desire, passion, you know what I'm saying, to first connect with those relationships. First, your first ways that you connected with the deeply with those relationships spiritually, having a transformation from that to be able to, from that vibration to, you see what I'm saying, have a reaction, response, create emotional connection to your deep desires and shit like that, and passions, motivations, and these desires, passions, motivations, secrets, joints, ventures, accounts, finances, and shit of that nature. So, to be able to have a gift value and talent in that for your vibration and transformation would pretty much be how you are, and how you transform in that would be the vibration of transformation, for your bringing up, you know what I'm saying, bringing the transformation for your relationships. So pretty much from there, what we are transforming in our, you see what I'm saying, vibration and spiritually, as far as what we taking power control in our associations and associates in the public arena, pretty much gonna be like us having a value, gift, and talent in what we taking actions, building on in reality, and having dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and going on our spiritual path and destiny with our dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions. That being our gift, value, and talent and vibration for the transformation of where we spiritually led from our associates in the public arena, where we took power and control in the area in life that we did that in and shit like that. So pretty much from there, we'll be taking actions, having different viewpoints, building on harsh reality, and actually, like, you know what I'm saying, our dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and the spiritual path and destiny that we are creating in our dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and shit like that will be our spiritual transformation for what we have a gift, value, and talent in, to be able to transform that vibration of, you see what I'm saying, us individually having to heal and, you know what I'm saying, heal and grow past mistakes and personal interests and shit, and show love, value, and appreciation, to be able to be relatable and amongst our, other individuals and shit like that of that nature and shit. And what you are having ability to analyze, thinking, communicate, and how you are able to innovate and not just innovate. I mean, well, not innovate, but initiate and create a spark or imagination, personal interest or value, and shit like that. So that would be how we pretty much happen to give value and talent, or, you know what I'm saying, however the vibration of transformation is going to be, is our give value and talent in that, being relatable and shit amongst our relationships with our individuality and shit, pretty much, and how we spiritually transform that dream to our individual, you see what I'm saying, relatable energy. So pretty much the frequency of creation would be us, you see what I'm saying, coming from the, you see what I'm saying, associations in the public arena of us having to be individual with that healing growth aspect of us, you know what I'm saying? Healing growth aspect of us showing love, value, and appreciation, and being able to think, communicate, and analyze the relatability energy of us individualizing our individual value and personal interests and of value and shit like that. So that's pretty much, you see what I'm saying, the frequency of creation for 11 house, or I mean a celestial association for the frequency creation, us third house, Gemini and Jupiter from Aries, you being able to create your frequency around what you think communicate and you see what I'm saying, your environment, and have an experience and be able to expand in your dream that you create around that experience and shit like that, to where you be able to think and be able to think, communicate in your immediate environment. It would be your frequency of creation for your personal value and things of that nature, of what you are healing personally, transforming as far as what you have a mistake in, from where you had pain and suffering, and now you are transforming to a healing and growth state of you having to, you know what I'm saying, show love, value, and appreciation to others as well for their relatability energy, to be individual in their you know what I'm saying, passions, motivations, and initiating, creating an imagination and a personal interest and value, and you see what I'm saying, being amongst your celestial creations of your associations and the public arena you're in, pretty much. So from there, Taurus, us being an individual with our gifts, value, and talents, to be able to in our associates in the public arena, be able to have a frequency of creation with Cancer and Mars, you know what I'm saying, us having a family home and privacy, that we can be able to have a passion, motivation, mold and craft and initiate and create a emotional home and shit like that around our home, family, and privacy and shit like that, to be able to think, communicate in our immediate environment and shit like that nature. So that would be pretty much our frequency of creation for the celestial creation of us having to individualize and innovate our gift, value, and talent that we relate and shit with, to be able to have that frequency of creation in return, like I said, to the home, family, and privacy, be able to think and communicate in your immediate environment of your home, family, and privacy, that you know, your emotional home, be able to, you know, interact that through your frequency that you're creating and thinking in your environment and shit like that. Frequency creation from there will pretty much be us, South Node Virgo, having to select what we amongst our celestial creations and shit like that, have a work health routine pattern around where we feel safe, secure, and are stable and shit like that, and makes us feel safe, secure, and comfortable and shit like that, with that stable stability, maternal material energy that we have to, you know what I'm saying, earth, like mutable earth, being moldable, mutable, and adaptable to others' work health routine patterns and shit like that, as well as our own, you know what I'm saying, what we celestially create around that and shit like that, amongst our associations, our associates in the public arena that we in, how we how we're gonna have a frequency of creation, basically how we thinking in our immediate environment, and how we communicate that about that in our immediate environment. It would be how we is deeply passionately, and you see what I'm saying, fixating our emotions and transforming our fixated emotions around our ability to create an emotional connection and react and respond to these things in our immediate environment, and how we think and communicate with that being our frequency of creation, pretty much. Pretty much. Going from there, pretty much. What we are transforming and taking power control of in our associations and public arena, dealing with our associates and associations in the public 11th house from Aries, you know what I'm saying? 3rd house will be having a frequency of communication, or you know what I'm saying, frequency of creation, I should say, in our personal interests and endeavors, and will be healing growth past the growth aspect of what we have mistakes in, or whatever the case may be, what we may have, you know what I'm saying, fought to be have fallen within a personal value or interest that we have, endeavor that we or affair that we indulged in, or whatever the case. Shit, showing love, value, and appreciation to others and shit as well for they, relatability energy within that, giving love, value, and appreciation, and ability to think, communicate, and analyze those things to others. How you individualize your, you see what I'm saying, initiation, creating leadership, and ability to have a vision and direction to be able to create imagination, or whatever to create, a passion or a way to go, and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And that being what we are, being able to think, communicate, and in our immediate environment, we've been able to think, communicate about our celestial creation from how we're having a, you know what I'm saying, what our frequency of is going to be, and will be individualized from that, see what I'm saying, our associations. So, but Venus, Mercury, and Chiron being there, things of that nature. So pretty much from there, a frequency of creation where we, you know what I'm saying, taking actions, having different viewpoints, building, stabilizing, and seeing a harsh reality. Also having dream, faith, belief, imagination, illusion, and going on a spiritual destiny path with our dream, faith, belief, imagination, or delusion in our celestial creation, aka our associates in the public that we are, you know what I'm saying, an area of life that we indulge with, that, dream, faith, belief, imaginations, is pretty much going to be how we, you know what I'm saying, our frequency is being created from that, to be able to have a give value and talent within, you know what I'm saying, our unique ability to innovate and create a give value or a talent and shit like that, and think, communicate, and that in our immediate environment would be, you know what I'm saying, how we creating our frequency and shit like that around our, you know what I'm saying, dream, faith, belief, imagination, and delusion. In our associations in the public arena. So our experience of emotion, excuse me, so I feel pretty much gonna be what we transforming, healing, pain, suffering, into growth from our personal value, thinking, communicating, and you see what I'm saying, analyzing, as well as showing love, value, and appreciation within that individual personal passion when it comes to a value and a interest or a personal affair, one goes on a journey to you see what I'm saying, leads one one's own self in and shit like that, would be the ground basis of, you see what I'm saying, a entrepreneur or image status business, and yeah, initiating, creating an image status business, for to be able to expand and you know what I'm saying, experience emotion, you have saying have experience of emotion around Cancer and Mars, you know what I'm saying, where we are home, family, and privacy, having a passion, motivation, and desire to initiate and create our emotions around in this time, during this time and shit like that, of that nature, is what we're gonna be experiencing our emotions around when it comes to that, you know, showing love, value, and appreciation, communicating, and analyzing, and showing, you know what I'm saying, and how we transform our healing and our pain and suffering into healing, growth aspect, and shit of that nature. To other individuals, being in that relatability energy, as well as how we, you know what I'm saying, relate to our own individual self within that passion, motivation, imagination, creativity energy. Pretty much how we, fourth house, yeah, experiencing our emotion from that is going to be, you know, in our home, family, and privacy, and how we initiate and create our emotions and shit like that in our home, family, privacy, and how we have ability to, you see what I'm saying, create and shit like that, create a desire or passion, motivation within our home, family, privacy, would be our experience and our emotion, what we're experiencing for that aspect, you see what I'm saying? For pretty much experience of emotion from there would be Jupiter, Gemini, us, you know what I'm saying, having the ability to think, communicate, analyze with our experiences, where we our knowledges and wisdoms that we going to be expanding and shit, from as far as how we creating our dream around that, thinking, communicating in our immediate environment and shit like that, about our way that we are on having an entrepreneur endeavor, image and status, being able to initiate and create that, you know what I'm saying, what we can build into reality and shit like that, from what we have an experience of emotion. Pretty much fourth house to see what I'm saying, will be our home, family, and privacy, our ability in initiating, creating emotion, and having an emotional experience and shit like that, initiating and creating our home, family, and privacy around what we have an emotional experience of and shit like that, with our what we trying to be seen as in our image and status and entrepreneurial endeavor, whatever the case may be, is gonna be in how we having a work health routine pattern and shit like that, and what we creating our frequency. I mean, you know what I'm saying, what we basically, what we thinking, communicating our environment, and expand on, and our wisdom, knowledges, and experiences within that image status, and what we can actually see and build in reality, is going to be able to be have what we have an experience of emotion around and shit like that, experiencing our having an emotion of you know what I'm saying, experience of emotion around our work health routine patterns that we feel safe, comfortable, and secure within. You know what I'm saying, with the South Node and Virgo being there, and we feel safe, comfortable, secure, and stable, as far as we, you know, our maternal material energy and shit like that, amongst being mutable, moldable, and adaptable within that work health routine and others. So that being how we are emanating, or aka initiating, creating an emotional experience around that wisdom, knowledge, and experience that we have in Jupiter and Gemini and shit like that. That entrepreneur endeavor we thinking about, whatever the case. Standing on business, aka status, aka, you know what I'm saying, building on the reality of. From there, pretty much, trying to think. Oh yeah, Cancer. And Mars, we initiating creating as far as our emotional, you know, emotions in our home family and privacy and shit like that, and deep desires, passion, motivations that we would like to create or, you know, transform within that nature. See things of those nature. Excuse me, with our 10th house aspect coming from Libra, 4th house, Libra to Libra from Cancer. Or we want to be seen in his image and status, or have a, you know, create a standing on business type, building reality, entrepreneur energy within our home family and privacy would pretty much be directed towards we having an emotional experience or experiencing our emotion. We, you know, our home family and privacy, ability to initiate and create our emotion and shit like that. Around initiate home family and privacy, initiate and be able to, you know, our ability to initiate and create emotions around that, within our relatability as our, you know what I'm saying, the aspect of our how we can relate to relationships and our relationships and our ways of relating and shit like that, and our deep emotions and what we first emotionally connected within those relationships and shit of that nature is how we experiencing that emotion and shit like that. So how we transforming, taking power and control, and transforming our associations and associates in the public arena. You know what I'm saying? Within that ability to be able to initiate and create entrepreneur endeavor or career status, business, or whatever the case may be, to have an emotional experience within that is what we're gonna be having to individualize, innovate, and make unique as far as when it comes to give value and talents that we can, you see what I'm saying, initiate and create emotions and emotional home, a family and privacy around that and shit of that nature. Yeah, pretty much how we innovate and make that individual and unique and shit like that will be how we experience our emotions and shit like that. Within that, give value and talent to be able to see through the entrepreneur, or to build on reality of our aspect of how we are transforming and taking power and control of our associates in the public arena and shit like that. So from there, you have an emotional experience of our physical experience, aka building on a reality of us, you know, taking action, seeing different viewpoints, building on a reality, having dream, faith, belief, imagination, and going on a spiritual path and destiny of our dream, faith, belief, imagination, and delusion and things like that would be pretty much how we initiate and creating our entrepreneurial endeavors around motion of experience that we would be, you know, being able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to how we think, communicate, and our immediate environment with our wisdom, knowledge, and experiences that we can, you know, that we gain out of the home, family, and privacy, initiating, creating a home, or emotion, you know what I'm saying, of experience around that home, family, and privacy, internal home energy and things of that nature, to be able to think, communicate, and in our immediate environment about that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, about that dream, faith, belief, imagination, and delusion and things of that nature. How we having a physical experience of that. So that's our emotional experience for, you know, that aspect, with us having the moon being transited right now, being the end of the year, last moon transit and things of that nature. Before Aries goes into, for the sun officially goes into 0 degree Aries on Thursday. See what I'm saying? What we physically experiencing with us creating emotional connection, reaction, and response around our deep desire, passion, and motivation, and how we can transform and transmute a desire, you know what I'm saying? Deep emotion and things of that nature. And yeah, is what pretty much we are having, you know, to stand on business and have a image status or entrepreneur endeavor and things like that, to be able to experience our emotion with how we transform, take power and control over our associates in the public arena, and initiate and create a fourth house, you know what I'm saying, emotional creation or experience to what we initiate and create our emotions around and shit like that. So that ability just to be able to initiate and create our emotions around and have an emotional home, you know what I'm saying, family and privacy around that, yeah, associate in the public that you are taking power and control and transforming, will be your emotional experience for the desire, deep emotion, and, you know what I'm saying, passion that you are having a physical experience and shit like that, to be able to, you know what I'm saying, stand on business and have a status and you see what I'm saying, image and all of that shit. Yeah. So from there, pretty much you know what I'm saying, expression of character would be pretty much Taurus and Uranus, feel me, where you individualizing, you know what I'm saying, innovating, uniquely innovating, making unique when it comes to that. Give value and talent and shit like that would pretty much be how we, you know what I'm saying, ninth house to Virgo are being able to, you know what I'm saying, have a point, or, you know, yeah, avoid, to be able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable with a vision or an enlightenment, spiritual sense to express that character of what we can, you know what I'm saying, be comfortable, safe, secure around with our not passions, but our health routines and work regimens and things like that, things of that nature. So like we pretty much gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, going through us having to be, you know what I'm saying, having a spiritual sense of us already knowing, and, you know what I'm saying, expanding through that, give value or talent and shit like that. How we're gonna be able to be, you know, hit a point or things of that nature to expand within that give value and talent that we're making, unique and innovating and individualizing and things of that nature, to be able to express our character and how we, you know, have a work health routine pattern and things of that nature. So whatever work health routine pattern that we were being able to have a mutable, moldable and adaptable energy to be able to, you know, be you know what I'm saying, relate to others in that aspect of their dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, or whatever the case may be. express our character and how we are comfortable, feel comfortable, safe, and secure within that, and would pretty much be how that aspect would be played out. However far we are to go between those two energies is how it would play out. And expression of character from there, Jupiter and Gemini are, ninth house aspect from Libra, ability to be moldable, mutable, adaptable, and have a spiritual sense, or what I'm saying, spiritual point that you could reach to expand within that, thinking, communicating, thinking, communicating in your immediate environment about how you having a wisdom, or how you're thinking, communicating within your immediate environment, within how you expanding your wisdom and knowledge and experiences within how you thinking, communicating within your environment and shit like that. Is pretty much how you're gonna be able to see a point and shit like that. You could be able to expand your ability to expand and to be able, be moldable, mutable, adaptable to others' visions and shit like that, to wisdom and knowledge and experiences and shit like that, and be able to, and ability to expand. It's gonna lead for you to be able to express your character. However far you be able to be able to express your character, and your relatability aspect in your relationships, relations, and things of that nature, to how you're able to set the stage, fixate a fun, entertainment, or enjoyable, pleasurable energy within that character to express your character of that point that you were able to expand. Can be able to, that you're able to expand is however far you're able to express your character in that aspect of your relationships and your relatability energy to create relations and things of that nature, initiate and create relationships and ways that you can think and communicate and within relationships. Expression of character from there, pretty much we gonna be expanding and have ability to be moldable, mutable, adaptable to our spiritual sense of having a point that we can expand on to our in our home, family, and privacy, and what we have a passion, motivation, or desire to transform or create and initiate and create emotional home, family, and privacy within whatever that desire would be within that, is pretty much however we're going to be able to see be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to a point that we can expand, as well as others to be able to expand, be mutable and adaptable to others' point to be able to expand on us to, how far we're able to do that, express our character, and how we're reacting, creating emotional connection, and responding to our deep emotional fixating, sustaining a desire and secret or joint venture and sex, like creating a transformative energy, things of that nature, bringing death to like energy, aka transformative energy, things of that nature, which is what we moon transiting right now pretty much is bringing to the end of the year, ironically, aka Scorpio and Pisces and things of that nature. So in the sun and Scorpio and the moon, crazy work. So and yeah, what I was saying, so yeah, with us having the ability, or did I even? Yeah, okay, so with us having the ability to express our character within how we react and respond and create an emotional connection, within those deep desires and endings that we can, be able to transform our, sexual energy from, those two energies joining together to be able to create, You see what I'm saying? We will create one. So pretty much from there, that and however we express our character from that is however far we're gonna be able to expand. You know what I'm saying? A point that we could reach, and how we are able to, you know what I'm saying, initiate and create an emotion and within our emotional home, family, and privacy, and have a deep desire or a passionate creative energy about that those things of those natures. Will we able to initiate and create in our relationships ways that we relate in our, you know what I'm saying, relatability energy and things of that nature, how we think and communicate within those relationships. Having, you know what I'm saying, Lilith be there still and things of that nature, how we gonna be deep, having a deep desire, you know what I'm saying, to first connect to that relationships, to those relationships and ways of relating. It's how we're gonna be able to see and how we're gonna be able to expand from a point from there to, express our character of the way that we are transforming, taking power and control in our associations, the public arena that we are in, and things of that nature. Have a fun and entertainment, or pleasurable, enjoyable, like setting the stage type fixed fire Leo energy that we can be able to bring all around the campfire, things like that, sing along a song type SpongeBob energy type shit. So yeah, and however far you're able to express your character, it's gonna be however far you gonna be able to you know what I'm saying, express your characters is gonna be how far you expand and shit like that on those relationships and relations and things of that nature. So expressing a character from there pretty much gonna be from you see what I'm saying, will we ending having a passionate transformative transformation within our reactions, responses, and will we create an emotional connection around, as far as will we fixate and sustaining in our sexual energies of being able to transform and transmute those deep desires or whatever the case may be, with the points that we can reach to be able to expand from that, to be able to express our character of taking actions, viewing different points of taking those actions, standing on business, as far as with your dreams, faith, belief, imaginations, how you can see the harsh reality of building on that, and create dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, and go on a spiritual destiny and path of those dreams, faith, belief, imaginations, and delusions and things of that nature. Is going to be how you being able to express your character within, those dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions. However far you're able to do that is how far you're able to bring, conjoint those energies and bring death to the old, you know what I'm saying, or AKA bring, transformation and merge and join the accounts together of the, you know what I'm saying, the dream, faith, belief, delusion, imagination, you know what I'm saying, and being moldable, mutable, adaptable to others' emotions when it comes to that dream, faith, belief, and imagination, how you're taking actions, building on that, sustaining that, creating more of that, going on in that spiritual path and destiny of that, is going to be how you're going to be able to be seen as, your character, to be, expressing your character within that point that you reached, to however far that you transformed and transmuted that sexual energy and account that you joined it together to create one, to be able to be one, you see what I'm saying, to be able to be a new energy, basically transformed and shit like that, to rise from the ashes to dust, from the dust to dust, to be Phoenix and shit like that, of that nature. So pretty much that'll be the expression of character for that aspect. From there, pretty much we'll be taking taking power, controlling, and our associates in the public and things of that nature, having the ability to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to our visions, and the way that we can, have a spiritual sense of a point to reach that we can expand on and things of that nature, to be able to, you know, and, take power and control in that personal, or associates in the public and shit like that. Take power and control in that we have an expression of character, and the way that we expand our the way that we think and communicate in our immediate environment, and our wisdom, knowledges, and experiences with how we think and communicate within our immediate environment. It's gonna be how we're expressing our character. However far we're able to do that, pretty much is gonna be how we're gonna be able to be seen within having a spiritual sense with however far we are expanded with our associates in the public arena and things like that of those natures. So going on from there, expression of character of what we are being seen as, taking actions, having different viewpoints, building on our harsh reality, sustaining that, and creating more dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, and going on a spiritual destiny and a path of those dreams, faith, beliefs, imagination, delusions, where we're able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to others as well, creating that emotional, creating that emotion behind that dream, that dreamy faith, belief, and shit like that, delusion and shit like that, being able to reach a point that we can expand from that and shit like that. So be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to a vision and a spiritual sense that we can be able to, create around that and shit like that, is gonna be how we expressing our, however far we are able to express our character and home, family, and privacy and shit like that, and our initiating, creating ability for our emotions to be, you see what I'm saying, be the emanation of what our home, family, and privacy is being seen as, or AKA being led, nurtured, being nurtured with, and things of that nature, and would be how we expressing our character for that Leo aspect of bringing everybody to the campfire, singing along SpongeBob, having happy home, happy, you see what I'm saying, shit like that, with how we nurturing the emotions and shit like that. So that's pretty much the expression of character, experience, expansion of what we're embodying. Gonna be, is pretty much Aries, the Chiron, and Mercury and Venus, how that's gonna play out from our 8th house aspect from Virgo to that, pretty much the transformative 8th house fixated emotion, deep emotion that we are transforming and transmuting and bringing together, you see what I'm saying, to create a new energy around, that transformation and that creative energy that we had a mistake in or shit like that we're healing from that pain, suffering, healing, having into healing and growth aspect, and showing love, value, and appreciation for others, having, and a personal interest or value, things of that nature, and thinking, communicating, and analyzing our personal interests and shit like that, personal values and shit like that, and be able to relate that with others, how they're relating and their personal interests and value and things of that nature. It's gonna be how we are, you know what I'm saying, 8th house, having a mental rebirth, or you see what I'm saying, having a emotional transformation and shit like that behind sixth house from Aries, Virgo, South Node, where we are feeling comfortable, safe, and secure within our work health routine regimens and shit like that, patterns, work patterns, and health regimens and shit like that. Pretty much is gonna be like how we gonna be having a embodiment of expansion, you know what I'm saying, of that mental rebirth, aka emotional transformation, and however far we're able to have a work health routine, be moldable, mutable, and adaptable pattern, regimen, work health pattern, work pattern, health regimen, and shit like that, to be able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to ourselves as well as others and shit like that. So it would be however far we're to expand that, embodiment of that. So Taurus being the 8th house from Libra, where we deeply, passionately, you know what I'm saying, transforming as far as our emotions around our individual unique, innovative gift, values, and talents and shit like that. It's how we're, you know what I'm saying, mentally, emotionally transforming, aka having, rebirthing, creating a whole new energy out of that, to be able to expand in our embodiment of our relationships, relatability, energy, and relations, aka initiative, ability to think, communicate within, and lead relationships and shit like that, of those natures. So would be pretty much sixth house, how we having a work health routine pattern, you know what I'm saying, being moldable, mutable, and adaptable. Within that, it's gonna be how we're able to expand that, how far we're able to expand that embodiment of that, what we're mentally rebirthing, and our emotional rebirth within our gifts, values, and talents that we are experiencing a new energy, aka transforming and having sex to create a new energy, bringing death to the old and shit like that, busting that nut out of the seed to be able to see the tree grow into the life and shit like that, and from the water that came from mama's, mouth and shit like that, and into the baby's mouth and shit. So from father's breath, aka into mama's womb and shit like that. So pretty much from there, we having an expansion, an embodiment of expansion of us mentally rebirthing the and experience emotional transformation within the thinking, communicating aspect of us, our immediate environment, the wisdom and knowledge and experiences that we gaining out of that 8th house from a Scorpio aspect, aka what we're fixating, sustaining as far as emotional, deep emotion and desire and passion and motivation and shit like that. Within that, it's gonna be how we, you know what I'm saying, being able to mentally rebirth and expand, transform our emotions and shit within our work health routine pattern, within those desires, passions, motives, and things of that nature that we are experiencing a reaction response, creating emotional connection to, aka that transformation and transformative energy, to be able to have a work health routine, be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to ourselves, material energy to that, as well as others and things of that nature, being moldable, mutable, and adaptable to theirs. So it's going to be how we're experiencing, expanding the embodiment of how we're mentally rebirthing that, those, mentalities and things of that nature around how we expand our wisdom, knowledge, and experience, and think and communicate. Embodiment of expansion, and how we're mentally rebirthing. From there, pretty much, it's gonna be South Node Virgo. It's gonna be a house, South Node Virgo. How we are deeply, passionately transforming that work health routine pattern, and how we feel safe, secure, and stable within that work health routine pattern. Being able to have a mental rebirth, emotional transformation, aka within that South Node, will we feeling comfortable, safe, and secure within Virgo-like aspect to be able to, you see what I'm saying, feel safe, secure within that Virgo-like aspect to be able to have a mental rebirth within that is how we're going, how far we're to expand our embodiment on the Aquarius and Pluto, what emotion, what, you know what I'm saying, yeah, like emotions, and that we are putting behind that, you see what I'm saying, or not necessarily emotions, but work health routine patterns, and work regimens, and health patterns and shit that we're putting behind that, taking power control in the public arena, and in associates and the associations and associates that we, you know what I'm saying, fixate and sustain and shit of that nature. As far as how we making our individuality fit within society, being into our associations, and you know what I'm saying, being into our associations and associates, being connected to them in the public arena that we are seen in, is how we are embodying that expansion, pretty much, of the however far we're able to expand on that new energy that we can create within that work health routine regimen, that work pattern and health regimen and things of that nature. So pretty much from there, Libra, Lilith, how are, you know what I'm saying, mentally rebirthing and having an emotional transformation within that. Lilith and shit and Libra, what we deeply desire with our relationships and relations, and the way to be relatable and shit like that, and initiate and create the ways that we think and communicate within relationships, and ways that we interact with relations and things like that. Pretty much gonna be how that's, our first deep desires and shit like that. When it comes to that, gonna be seen as our mental rebirth, having a mental, you know what I'm saying, emotional rebirth, deep desires, passions, secrets, or whatever the case, or, you know what I'm saying, sex, like joining the two energies together to create a whole new energy, making death to the old energy, to bring ash from the ashes, dust to dust, rises the phoenix again, pretty much gonna be how we mentally rebirthing from that, expanding our embodiment and our desire, in our, not desires, in our dreams, faith, belief, imagination, illusions, how we taking actions, how we, seen from different viewpoints, and building on reality, harsh reality, going on, that spiritual path and destiny, and also building, creating more dreams, faith, belief, imagination, illusions. It's how we expand our embodiment around that. You know what I'm saying? Those relationships relate, and ability to mentally rebirth and transform those relationships and relatability energies. From there, pretty much experience of how we are expanding our embodiment, expansion of, embodiment of expansion, pretty much gonna be, eighth house from Aries, Scorpio. How we're deeply, emotionally fixated in our desires and our passions, motivations, and shit like that within our, motives and things that we deeply desire to be able to, you know what I'm saying, have that you know what I'm saying, sex energy around to be able to join the two together, you know, have a joint venture or investment into, aka, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, to have a mental rebirth around that, and emotional rebirth around that eighth house aspect in itself. You see what I'm saying? To expand, have expansion of embodiment on of however far we are to, you know what I'm saying, mentally rebirth that is however far we're going to be able to, you know, and then vice versa, expansion of embodiment, however far we are to in our individual values and get, you know, I guess you could say gifts and talents, and you know what I'm saying, but values and personal interests and shit like that, or what we initiate and create as far as a spark of imagination or personal, you know, leadership value of you being able to create and emanate a nation or imagination. You see what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Pretty much, that's gonna be however far you're to sixth house, have a work health routine pattern around that. That's how far you're gonna be able to expand that embodiment of that eighth house aspect from Scorpio. I mean, from Aries, Scorpio. Deeply transform those desires, passions, and motivations and shit like that. So, AKA mentally have a mentally rebirth. You know what I'm saying? And emotionally, transform. Expansion of embodiment from there. Pretty much last one. Aquarius. Pluto will be taking power and transformation, you know what I'm saying, type energy when it comes to what we fixate and sustaining amongst our associations, making individual unique, you know, individualizing, innovating and making unique as far as you see what I'm saying, how we think and communicate and associate and relate within our associations and shit like that. Pretty much gonna be like how we, you know, is mentally rebirthing. How we mentally rebirthing is gonna be with our associations. So how we however far we are to, you know, have an emotional transformation with that and shit like that. With that Pluto aspect of us having to take power and control and, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. Mentally rebirth that power and control to a more, you know what I'm saying, harmonious, or, you know, rising from the ashes, from the dust to dust type energy, to be able to, however far we're able to do that, expand, and vice versa, however far we're able to embody the home, family, privacy like aspect of initiating, creating, you know what I'm saying, emotions and shit like that when it comes to our deep desires, passions, and motivations. It's going to be how we being seen as being able to expand our embodiment of sixth house, having a work health pattern and routine regimen around that, being moldable, mutable, and adaptable, to being able to, you see what I'm saying, have a work health routine embodiment, expanding on the mental rebirth of that, you know, that power control that we have to transform and take power over in our associations, and fixate and sustain that individual, unique, you know, character at the same time amongst the public arena and your associations, balancing out how y'all want to be seen as a group. You see what I'm saying? Collectively and things of that nature. So, and that be, you know, however far you're able to expand your embodiment on, you know what I'm saying, your home, family, and privacy, the work health routine patterns that you have, and the deep desires, motivations that you have within that, even though it's being fallen, things of that nature, you know, have the aspect of nurturing and growing the business behind what you want to be, you know, the image and status and whatever the case you want to be, entrepreneurial endeavor that you want to be seen as within nurturing and, you know what I'm saying, nurturing and you know what I'm saying, bringing up and raising up that emotional home of initiating and creating what you, your deep desires and passions, initiating creating your own emotion around your deep desires and passions, how you're able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable within your own work health, work regimens, and work and health routines around that, and things around and that embodiment of expansion of your, you see what I'm saying, as well, you know what I'm saying, being able to, how far you've been able to embody your expansion of that mental rebirth, however far you're able to, you know what I'm saying, emotionally transform your associations, associates, and the way that you take power and control within that. So pretty much that's it for, you know what I'm saying, expansion, you know what I'm saying, embodiment of expansion, whatever the fuck, feel me, that we, you know what I'm saying, emanating as far as how we, being moldable, adaptable with our work health routine patterns and fixating, sustaining that mental rebirth of, the transformation of the embodiment of the expansion that we are mentally rebirthing and shit like that. Being Virgo, so balance of power would be pretty much Aries, Chiron, Mercury, and Venus. Will we initiate and create as far as a personal interest and personal value, or you see what I'm saying, endeavor, as far as will we emanate and initiate and create with our personal interests behind those mistakes, or you see what I'm saying, healing type growth, energy growth, you know what I'm saying, mistakes that we made, energies and love, value, and appreciation, being relatable energies, and thinking, communicating, and analyzing to be able to be an individual within what we're, you know what I'm saying, thinking about, and communicating and emanating as far as being, having a personal value within that think what we think, communicating and shit like that. That pretty much being will be having to be 7th house relatable, relate with our relationships and the ways that we relating and shit like that. The balance of power for Libra, you know what I'm saying, 7th house to Aries, we're our deep desires, and you know what I'm saying, Lilith being there within our relationships, first creation, our first, interactions within our relationships and relatability energies, pretty much gonna be the balance of power for Aries, in return and shit like that. What we're, what I'm saying, transforming when it comes, as far as it comes to our individual passions, motivations, desires, with the how we, healed our mistakes or whatever the case, showing love, value, and appreciation for that. How others do that as well as, ourselves, and think, communicate, analyzing around that. Those things of those interests as well. How we can initiate and create our own personal value to go from there. So pretty much from that balance of power of Virgo, Earth, I should say Taurus, and Uranus. Will we being able, how far we're able to be relatable in our relationships, relatability energies, and the ways that we relate within our unique gifts, talents, and values that we innovating and things of that nature. It's however far we're able to balance the power of, you see what I'm saying, Scorpio 7th house from Taurus, us having the ability to be relatable within our relationships and relations and things of that nature, within how we are creating an emotional connection, how we are reacting, responding within desires and things like that, and creating emotional connection within our own desires, passions, and joint connections within how we're motivated to, you see what I'm saying, be invested in another energy, to be able to basically be, you know what I'm saying, fixate and sustain new energy and things of that nature to rise from the dust, ashes to ashes, as the phoenix and things of that nature. And we'll be how far we're able to be, balance our unique individual, get value and talent, you know what I'm saying, within our relationships and things of that nature. So from there, pretty much Virgo, South Node, you see what I'm saying, feeling comfortable, safe, secure, which is the theme of this year, is what I, feel within our work health routine patterns, that is. So like work regimens, health patterns, and things of those natures, with what we're feeling, safe, secure, and comfortable, then to be able to, emanate and reach that point that we can experience our own dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, being mutable, moldable, and adaptable with that. You feel me? So as well as others. And you know what I'm saying, with that being our spiritual path and destiny, in this case with North Node being there, being the balance of power for, and vice versa, the South Node, Virgo, Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and North Node, pretty much where we're taking actions, having different viewpoints, building our heart's reality, and going on that spiritual path and destiny, and creating more dreams, adding on to the dream, faith, belief, imagination, and delusion, and things of that nature, fantasy, and the power to just, what our spirit has in general, to be able to, what I'm saying, have a faith, belief, imagination, you know what I'm saying, or, create a, basically like that, you know what I'm saying, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, those, those powers that our spirit has, and things of the nature is like, you know what I'm saying. So basically, that's pretty much the balance of power. However far we're able to be relatable in our relationships and relations, and relatability energy, relation energy, initiate and create our own way to think, communicate, analyze it with our associations, and the way that we think, communicate within that. That's how we're going to be balancing that power out for that. And that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, energies going on for the day, the weather, my baby, you feel me? I hope y'all feeling, new, like, you know what I'm saying, rip me out the plastic. Nah, I fuck with y'all niggas, be. Yeah, I love y'all, man. Y'all stay spiritually protecting this shit. It's just shit, talking bullshit, making sure y'all know, like, it's just the end of the year, you know what I'm saying? Now it's about to be the beginning of the year, so this is, finalizing with the reaction responses, will we created the emotional connection, and you know what I'm saying, with the ending energy of us transforming that ashes to ash, to dust. Now, us rising as Phoenix to go into this new year, number 9, year 2025 type shit. Us from Pisces, you know what I'm saying, us, ending out this last year, things that year 8 to actually be coming to this, Virgo theme, South Node, North Node, Pisces theme year, us working towards our dreams now, like actually having to be individual with that, Aries coming into the general, forcing the generational planets to be kicked off and things of that nature officially. So, hey, welcome to the new year. A lot of shit going on, a lot of shit, you feel me? But it's at the same time, you see what I'm saying? We got a lot of, different associations being formed, a lot of shit just popping off, basically. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, coming together, and I love to see shit like this. So, and then if you was fulfilled with your, pretty much going into this new year from your work health routine patterns to how your dreams came out to be, or whatever the case may be, then look, you made it, man, and congratulations. Proud of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all keep doing y'all thing. I think it's pretty much all I had to say. Shout out to everybody. And famous Mellow Ho.